What is going on, everybody? My name is Marco here with ServiceLegend, and it's not Ryan today, it's myself, and we are going to be talking about the secrets of local service ads for contractors and home service companies, whether you're plumbing companies, garage door companies, HVAC companies, painting companies, you name it. A lot of these industries are starting to evolve, and Google is evolving as well. And Google local service ads is becoming an opportunity like we've never seen before. And some of you guys probably have heard of it in the past. Some of you guys, this might be new to you. Either way, today we're going to be talking about everything local service ads. So tune in. Obviously, we're here live in the Facebook group. And then obviously we are going to be posting this across the web later as well. We're going to need your attention. So put away your phones, pay attention to the presentation. It's going to be short and sweet. I'm not going to bore you guys with too many details. It's worth every bit of the presentation here. So if you're a home service contractor looking to go to the next level, this will help you get there. This is going to be everything you got to know when it comes to local service ads. Who is Marco, right? And why should you listen? Obviously here at ServiceLegend, I'm partner and CMO. I graduated with a marketing and business degree. We're partners with the PCA, so the Painting Contractors Association is what it is. We're an award-winning digital marketing agency. We're advertising partner with Google and things like that. So without further ado, let's get started. So what are we going to cover today in today's webinar? And the first thing we're going to cover is what are local service ads, right? What are they? How do local service ads work? So things to keep in mind, how to get started on local service ads, also known as LSA ads. So throughout this presentation here, we'll be talking about LSA local service ads. The benefit of this platform, it is fairly new. It's not the newest thing, like it was last year. However, it is a newer platform that most people probably have heard of, but haven't used yet. And then we'll end off by talking about the best practices and some of the common mistakes when it comes to, LSA ads on Google. So fantastic. Let's get going here. So what does ServiceLegend do, right? For those who don't know, ServiceLegend is a digital marketing agency. We focus on the home services sector. So we're talking, painting companies, concrete coating companies, garage door companies, HVAC companies, things like that. And we're a digital marketing company. So we focus on advertising, SEO, website design, things like that. And our motto is more profit, more freedom, and more impact. So obviously we want to make sure the companies we work with have more profit, more freedom, and more impact in their service business. What are local service ads on Google? Local service ads are really a platform on Google that Google released in 2015. And if you were to go to Google here, I have a search pulled up here. I search painting companies in Phoenix, right? And you have this section here, which is local service ads. You have this section, which has been here for eons. This is going to be your Google PPC. And then right here is going to be your Google Map Pack. And then this is your organic listings here. So obviously, as a painting company, home service company, you want to be featured in as many sections as possible on page one. Google released the local service ads as an opportunity for contractors to pay per lead structure. And so instead of paying per click, you're paying per lead. And so there's differences between PPC and LSA. And I will say, LSA is more than just your business listing. There's another portion called the Google Guarantee, which we'll talk about later in this webinar. But it's hyper focused on proximity. So same thing with right here, where it's based on proximity, where you're searching. I'm searching here in Scottsdale, so it's going to show me Scottsdale painting companies. If you're searching in Tempe, it's going to show Tempe. And then same thing right here. It's based on proximity. And so it is a pay per lead structure, and we'll talk more about what that looks like, on the back end. Local service ads have evolved to be used by contractors across the country. It's becoming more and more popular amongst the home service industry. Today, LSAs are available in multiple countries and industries, including home services. So it had started in different industries. Professional services is is kind of the main thing. But home service companies are starting to adapt this a little bit after, lawyers and things like that, which it became very widespread in those industries. And then when it was launched within like HVAC and garage door, Google is starting to release it to other industries, which is becoming pretty popular. So good stuff there. How local service ads are different. LSA ads are a pay-per-lead advertising structure. So it appears at the top of the Google search engine. LSAs are only available to certain industries and not keyword-based. LSAs also include the Google Guarantee, which provides added trust and protection for customers. And so if I were to jump back over to the search here, I searched here in Phoenix, painting companies, right? The painting industry, if you're a painting company, you're going to put handyman as your category. But this is a pay-per-lead structure. So if I were to contact Envision Painting and I were to call them, they're paying for the lead, right? We'll talk about the process and the dispute process, which is pretty awesome and very helpful to the contractor as well. We'll talk about what that looks like. However, I clicked on it, but I didn't call yet, or I didn't take an action yet. And, so that means Envision didn't pay for that, right? If I were to go back on page 1 here and click on Arizona Painting Company, this ad right here, if I were to click on it, it's a pay-per-lead structure. So this keyword might be worth, $5 a click. They're bidding at the top of page, which means, let's say it's $6 or whatever. This company's going to have to pay $6 for that click, whether they convert or not. So what's awesome about local service ads, and we'll talk more about it, is when you click on this business here, the only way the contractor pays for any sort of inquiry or new business coming from this is when somebody actually contacts them and inquiries services, right? And so what's awesome as well is this Google Guarantee, which we'll talk about later in this webinar. Google Guarantee is basically, Google guaranteeing the businesses passes certain checks. So making sure that the business has licenses, making sure the business has business insurance, things like that. And they'll actually have a money back guarantee up to $2,000 for the customer. So it's basically a badge of trust. Google's giving to the contractor saying, hey, they're vetted, they're professional, they have a lot of reviews, they're a reputable business in Phoenix. And so that's why there's never scams in here. All of these companies in here are legit painting companies, at least the ones with the green check mark here, are legit painting companies with background checks and owners that are not bad, right? These are typically businesses that were approved manually by Google through a pretty, strenuous process to become guaranteed on Google. So awesome things there. And we'll talk more about what the Google Guarantee looks like as it's going to be pretty interesting. Google Guarantee, as you know, it gives you that badge, right? And the badge is going to be very critical when you think about it. You want to have the badge, right? And so we'll talk about what it takes to get the Google Guarantee badge, later. So the role of Google Guarantee. The Google Guarantee is a badge that appears on LSA and guarantees the contractor's authenticity. The Google Guarantee provides added peace of mind for customers who can receive refunds of unsatisfactory work up to a certain amount. So it's $2,000 as of right now on the Google platform. Google Guarantee also helps contractors stand out from their competition. So that's a really, really good point. On Google, Google Guarantee, what allows you to do as a contractor is you become more reputable. You become a brand with a stamp on it from Google. And customers' friction goes out the window. It becomes more reputable and people are more willing to shop with you. But on top of that, Google is guaranteed that contractors are guaranteeing to the customer that your project is going to go right. So like the friction, if you're going to be buying a kitchen remodeling or a roof or whatever, is basically out the window, given that Google is going to literally back you up if the contractor doesn't help you out. So awesome stuff there. The impact of reviews on LSA. Reviews are critical, right? They're an important factor to the success of LSAs, impacting ranking and visibility. Encourage satisfied customers to leave positive reviews and respond promptly and professionally to negative reviews. So not just positive ones, but you want to respond to the negative ones as well. And the reason why that's the case is because if you don't respond to a negative review, what happens is, if I'm a prospect looking for painting services, you got to think, if nobody's responding to these negative reviews, are they true, right? You start asking yourself those types of questions. So you want to encourage satisfied customers to leave positive reviews and respond promptly to the negative ones. Regularly monitor and managing reviews can help improve the contractor's reputation and aid in generating more leads. And so if we go back over to the screen here, you talk about the businesses that have more reviews, right? Typically, people are going to click on the ones that have more reviews. This one at the top right here, Envision Painting, 208 reviews, 4.9 star. So it's a high rating. They have a lot of reviews, and this whole profile is optimized. This right here is more likely to convert than Prime Painting. Prime Painting is probably doing all right, but a lot better than like 16 reviews, right? So you can get a lot more movement if you get reviews and you encourage your customers to leave positive feedback on your company. So there's different ways you could do that, and we have some resources on that. You could send, a mass email to your list. You could, obviously manually have your technicians manually ask your customers when they do the final walkthrough of the project. That's a good one. Typically, that's the easiest way to get it. So a lot of things you could do there. So how do local service ads work? LSA ads are a pay per lead, as I talked about it. They're not keyword based, and so it's profile based. You want to make sure you optimize the profile to have the details you want in there. Okay. And as far as creating the LSA ads, right? Contractors must create a profile and set up LSA account through Google Local Service Ads platform. Contractors select the services they offer, the areas in which they serve, and the hours they are available. Contractors must also provide proof of insurance and undergo a background check before their LSA ads will appear on Google. So there is a pretty strenuous process to basically get approved on the LSA platform. And since it is pay per lead, and since that's the platform, Google wants to really make sure and vet the contractors that go on this platform. So it is somewhat exclusive. The truck and the truck painting companies, the truck and the truck home service companies aren't going to be able to get their businesses on LSA only because they're not going to do a background check. They're not going to have the business insurance. They're not going to have the licenses required by the state to have that type of company in that area. And so contractors will also want to select what they offer and the areas that they serve. So like if we look at this painting one, and again, as a painting company, you're not a handyman, obviously, but that's the only category that painting has, or that Google guarantee has within the LSA ads. And so you want to select handyman, but when it comes to the services, you want to select indoors and outdoor painting only. You don't want to select all of those other handyman type services. Why did Google throw handyman and painting together? I'm not sure. Painting's a big industry, so maybe they'll change that in the future. But as of right now, that's kind of how it goes for painting. For the other industries like garage door and HVAC and roofing, it's a lot easier because there's like a roofing category, and then there's a plumbing category, and so it's a lot more defined in those industries. So how LSA ads appear on Google? They appear at the top of the search results above the traditional search ads. So we're looking at the PPC ads. It literally pops up at the very, very top. And you got to ask yourself, why is that? Google obviously wants to make sure that the user, the prospect, gets as much value and really gets their questions answered. So if they're searching a query in Google that has buyer intent, painting companies near me, right? That keyword. They're looking for a painting contractor, whether it's for interior, exterior, cabinets, and Google wants the user to find their answer because obviously they want the user to, be satisfied with the Google platform. And so you want to make sure that you treat that user right when they land on your LSA. And so obviously you want to enter in your business name, your phone number, and get a Google guaranteed badge. Potential customers can click to call the contractor directly from the ad and submit a request for service. So there's a messaging section and then there's a call. There's no buttons to the website. As you'll notice within the LSA profile, there's no buttons to the website. I mean, you could take this business name and go on Google and find a website, right? I get it. You could do that. However, there's no direct buttons to the website from here because Google wants to be able to track whether it's working or not, right? And so, like I said earlier, the services here were indoor painting and outdoor painting. Obviously, tons of reviews there. And the only way to contact this business is call them, but some of these businesses will have message. So as you can see here, you can message and they'll typically respond within 1 day. That would be considered a lead in Google's eyes as well. And so there's 2 ways. There's phone call and there's message. It's the only 2 ways, somebody can reach a contractor through an LSA ad, which is important to know because there's no lead forms. There's no conversion tracking on the landing page. There's none of that stuff. It's a very simplified platform that Google created for the contractor to win. And it's a great platform because right now, the cost per lead on a lot of these industries is actually very reasonable. And so considering that as truth, right, you can get a very reasonable $40 to $50 cost per lead, depending on the industry you're in, on this platform. And with the ability to dispute leads, which we'll talk about later in what that process looks like. But with PPC, you could spend thousands and thousands of dollars per month on the wrong keywords and get no refund from Google. Over here, it's really hard not to win because you're getting the lead. And if the lead's not good, you dispute it, which means you're not paying for that lead. And so it's a pay per lead structure. It's a pay to play structure. And you will win as long as the CPL, the cost per lead, is reasonable, where the contractor still has a revenue or ROI. So we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Let's look into how the billing works, right? With LSA, contractors only pay per leads. So we talked about that, and the leads have to meet a specific criteria. So that's something to know, right? Customers can submit a request for service without paying anything up front. And so, customers, Google makes it very easy for the customers to contact the contractor through LSA, which is awesome. Contractors are charged a fixed fee for each lead they receive through LSA. And you can dispute the leads and that do not meet your criteria for chargeable leads. So again, back to my point, you're paying to play. If your leads aren't good, you can dispute them. So if I were to be looking for a painting contractor that does cabinets, and I were to, contact someone through LSA, and I figure out when I'm on the phone with them that they don't do cabinets anymore, that contractor can dispute that lead, and so they're not having to pay that $40, $50, $60 for that call, right? And so it's a win-win because with PPC, you don't get to do that, right? You can have an ROI on PPC, but it's going to be more difficult, and that's why you're going to want to hire an agency like ServiceLegend to run them. The importance of responding quickly. So contractors will respond quickly to leads generated through LSA, have a better chance of converting these leads. Google owns the data here, right? This is a Google tracking phone number. And when someone calls that phone number, if you don't pick up quickly, what happens is it sends signals back to Google saying that you guys are less responsive. Same thing with the messages. If we were to contact, Prime Painting through this message, and it typically takes 1 day, and then if there's someone else who takes messages and they typically respond in 2 hours, what do you think is going to happen? Google's going to throw the other business on top because they're more responsive and they're helping the customer with their questions faster. And that's what Google looks for. It's their data. They see what works, what doesn't work, and who's responding, who's not responding. If you're not picking up your phone calls, what happens is Google's going to stop showing your profile. And so with LSA, they're able to do that because they put a tracking number in there. For Google My Business, it's different. It's totally organic and it's not pay per lead. And so with organic, you better just have your phone calls dialed in. If you don't, then Google's not going to punish you. But on LSA, they will. Contractors should aim to respond to leads within 15 to 30 minutes of receiving them. And so that one says 1 day. Clearly, they're up on Google still. But let's say you're in a competitive market and there's many contractors that are using the LSA platform. If you respond quickly in 15, 30 minutes, you're not going to have an issue. You'll probably be on top as long as your budget serves that, and you'll win pretty big. So good stuff there. Failing to respond to leads in a timely manner can result in lost opportunities and lower conversion rates. Obviously, that's very true. You want to make sure you're responding to reviews as soon as possible and responding to messages as soon as possible on your profile. And so you definitely want to respond to the leads in a timely manner so it helps the customer with their questions. And Google's going to notice that. You're going to have more opportunities and you're going to have better conversion rates. What better could you ask for higher conversion rates and more opportunities? As a home service business, that's what we want. We want to have as many leads as possible. The benefits of local service ads. We've probably talked about, a few of them so far already here in the slides. LSA, helps contractors generate more leads and increase their visibility on Google. A point I want to make here real quick is, big keyword. Let's search HVAC companies, Phoenix. We got Parker and Sons right here. They're, obviously a pretty large company. I don't see them featured anywhere else on page one here. However, as a company, you want to be featured on Google as much as possible, right? You want to be in LSA, obviously. You want to have a budget in PPC, obviously, because a certain amount of people are going to click here, right? A certain amount of people are going to click here. So if you can be in all of these sections, the more sections Google creates, yes, it's more complex to rank for all of them. However, you want to be in all of them because it's going to increase the chances of getting leads. It's going to increase the visibility of your brand on Google. It's kind of like a billboard. If someone sees your brand name here, and then they see it here, and then they see it here as well, then they see you on Yelp, it creates this, consistency of people seeing your brand and your name and your branding. And so it lowers the guards when they think about calling your business. And so let's say they're a Yelper, right? And they click through here and they see Parker and Sons and they see Parker and Sons here, and then they see Parker and Sons here, and then they call on Yelp, Parker and Sons. It lowers the barrier. It's going to increase your conversion rates. It's going to bring in more leads. It's going to increase the brand recognition on Google. Same thing with a billboard. If you have billboards on every highway in Phoenix, what happens is when you run the Google ads and you run the LSA ads, people are going to see them, and more people are going to convert. So if it's 1,000 impressions and you have 10 conversions, if you're running all of those other ads, you might have 1,000 impressions and 20 conversions, because the conversion rate's higher, more people are seeing you, the brand recognition's higher. And so I really want to stress a point. You don't want to just do LSA, but you want to do them all, right? You want to set a budget to all of them, obviously depending on what budget is as a company. LSA ads are only available to certain industries, such as home services, resulting in less competition. So there's certain industries that LSA, has. If we were to go on Google, you could search something like LSA industries for Google, and you could probably find what industries you're able to advertise on Google local service ads. You can see here home services, there's pet care, education, wellness. I know there's like lawyers and things like that in there as well. So tons of lawyer stuff. But obviously there's plenty of industries now on it. I would also say, as home services, it's less competitive. So this is your time to get on there before everyone else and really, start dialing in what you got on the platform. LSA ads include Google Guarantee, which we talked about earlier. So it's added trust, added protection to your customers, lowers the barrier, lowers the friction. More people are going to shop with you, and you guys are going to have more business. So big wins there. Increased visibility on Google. LSA ads appear at the top of Google. LSA ads appear on the Google Maps and the Google Local Services platform. And then also local service ads help contractors stand out from the competition and increase their chance of being seen from potential customers. And so, again, you want to build up your reviews. You want to get as many reviews as possible. Parker and Sons here has 16,000 Google reviews within their LSA. They've been in business for 50 years. Like, what do you expect, right? People are going to continue to call this business. It's very established, tons of reviews, tons of social proof. And again, background check, 270 plus bookings nearby, has business insurance. Like, this profile right here is optimized to the gills. This is going to win in business for a very long time. So props to them. More leads and higher quality. That's something I want to talk about real quick. So it is a pay-per-lead structure like we talked about. You can dispute those leads if they don't make a certain criteria. With LSA ads, you're going to get tons of leads, but you're also going to get high quality leads because you're able to dispute the ones that aren't quality. And so for the ones you're paying, you're going to get very high quality leads from it. LSA ads can generate more leads than traditional search ads by directly contacting the business owner and not redirecting them. So that's a really good point. So if we were to be on Google here and we, click on this website right here, there's no chance of me submitting a form or calling the business. That website's going to have to pitch, and it's going to have to use conversion rate optimization to convert me from a reader prospect to an actual customer. And so with LSA, you're literally contacting the business directly. So like you're going to get on the line with them, and you are, basically ready to buy. You're ready to schedule an appointment. You're ready to schedule a quote. You're ready for a service call, whatever it is, whatever industry you're in. And so it's a very unique way to get in there. Okay. Pay per lead rather than click. Save money with this new model on Google. Again, it came out in 2015. It's a unique model. I would say like in the future, my prediction is maybe the CPLs will rise until, contractors can't afford it. So they'll kind of ride that line of like, okay, where it's worth it for the contractor still, but Google still maximizes revenue. Because you got to think Google's revenue comes from advertising, right? Their advertising dollars. And so they're going to maximize the lead and what it costs to get the lead for as long as it's profitable for the contractor. Now, obviously, when there's less companies on LSA, inevitably it's going to be cheaper because of the algorithms. But when you have more contractors on it and it's filled up, the pay per lead, it's going to be whatever company has great margins and great services. But also it's going to be a reasonable cost per lead as Google wants to keep people on the platform, right? And so I believe it'll always be profitable. I believe the ROI will always be there. Your CPL might, go up or down depending on the month. Depending on the competition you have in the marketplace, but I wouldn't be too worried about it because you can always dispute these leads that aren't good. So plenty of options there that you got. I want to take a moment here in the middle, and if you're watching this on the replay or maybe you're watching this live, we have a 7-figure business blueprint, which we talk about, setting up your Google My Business, your Google business profile, and things of that sort. So just go to servicelegend.com/business, and it'll actually redirect you to the link there. So if we go to servicelegend.com/business, it'll bring you to this PDF, which is a 7-figure home service business blueprint. We're giving it to you guys for free. It's really the pillars of a home service business. You got the foundations of ServiceLegend. You get some lead conversion stuff, some legendary selling systems, triple R's, which we talk about getting reviews and things like that on your business profile. That'll help you guys win in your local market as well, whether you're painting, coding, you name it. All right, guys. So the best practices for local service ads. Let's discuss that for a little bit here. Okay. LSA ads are a powerful tool. They're very effective to stand out from the competition, and increases the chances of generating high quality leads and converting them to customers. You're going to get more customers from LSA. There's no doubt about it. With PPC, again, it's heavily focused on the query, the search, rather than the category. And so you never know if you're actually ranking for a keyword that is going to win you new business. Now, obviously, as a marketing company, like we know, what we're doing, and we're only ranked for those keywords. But at the end of the day, LSA ads are going to be a lot easier to win on. And it's going to be a lot low-hanging fruit. Like this is low-hanging fruit. If you're a smaller company that's legit and you have background checks and you're a legit contractor, get on LSA as soon as possible. In this section, we'll discuss some of the best practices when it comes to your LSA as well. So put relevant information on your listing. Obviously, this is common sense, but a lot of people miss it, believe it or not. Make sure your LSA ads include all relevant information, such as your business name, services offered, service area, and phone number. Okay. Very, very critical. It's going to be similar to your Google business profile. You want to fill it out as much as possible. Whatever options Google gives you, you want to fill it out to the max. Be clear and concise in your ad copy, highlighting your unique selling proposition and what sets you apart from the competition. We'll take a look at what that looks like in a second here, and then use high quality images that showcase your work and make your ad stand out. So there's been some conversation about, my local service ads not spending the full budget, right? And that's definitely a big thing, right? The LSA ads not spending the full budget. And there's different things you could do, right? You could increase the budget tremendously so it spends a portion of that big budget, right? It's never going to spend what you say you want it to spend, so why not just increase it, right? That in hopes might help you. But the other best practice is just to fill it out completely, right? If we were to look at this right here, obviously high quality images, right? You don't need a ton of them. Just have a few high quality images, team images, images with people, dogs, things that people resonate with, right? And then if you go down here, you can see they're mentioning all the services, they're mentioning the details, the propositions, value propositions in terms of buying from them, and then obviously the reviews, right? And so if you look at the service section, you'll put all the services you have. But again, they're listing the things out completely, and basically telling people why they should shop with them, right? They're BBB accredited, still operating, 24/7 emergency service, parts and labor guarantee. They're a great company, tons of reviews, Google guarantee badge. They're going to have no problem getting new customers from their LSA ads. So again, you want to be very clear in your ad copy. You want to highlight the unique selling proposition, and you want to make sure that you use high quality images. And doing these types of things, putting relevant information in your listing, is going to help your overall account spend the full budget. And so it's probably not going to get all the way there, but if we can get like 60% there in terms of spending the budget you're telling Google to spend, that would be great, right? And the reason why it's not spending, even close to your budget is because you don't have relevant information in your profile. You want to make sure you have a lot of relevant information to help out with the account there. This means you want to make sure you have the right category and services. And so when setting up your LSA, ensure that you're targeting the right audience, right? Like I said earlier, it's not search, it's based on category. And so Google's going to determine a search and pair it with a category for you. And I'll kind of show you what that looks like here. If I were to be on Google and I search, okay, and I search cabinet painting Phoenix, Google's not showing up the LSA, right? Now, if I were to search interior painting Phoenix, you have the LSA. But the reason why is if we go to the service section of these LSA ads, it's going to tell you that they're doing paint indoors and paint outdoors. Clearly, Google's not categorizing a cabinet keyword with indoor painting. But you can't do anything about that, right? It's all category based. The company we're looking at earlier, which was Parker & Sons, the services they have is all of these, right? HVAC, or AC repair. They're obviously an HVAC pro. That's their category. And so like all of these keywords, AC repair, Phoenix, these are all going to be categories that are going to pop up, based on the service section. And so make sure you only add the services you offer. If you're a painting company, which some of you guys might be watching this, you're going to be a little limited because there's only two categories. There's indoor painting and outdoor painting. And so like Google's only giving you two options and it's under handyman. And so your success as a painting company on LSA is typically going to be a little bit less. You can still win. You just want to make sure you toggle only your services. That way you're not targeting the wrong people. So be specific about the services you offer, like I just talked about. Avoid selecting too many categories or services as that can dilute the effectiveness of your ad. So if you're in a competitive industry like HVAC, right, maybe selecting like 10 max services would be good because there's probably tons in there. But just select the ones that you kind of want to win, like what type of business you want. Do you want AC repair jobs? Do you want AC replacement jobs? Do you want new construction? Do you want, figure out exactly what you want and what your goals are out of your marketing and only select those categories. Most of these industries aren't going to have a ton of service section. But I know HVAC has quite a bit, as we saw on Parker & Sons page there. Next thing here is get more Google reviews. That's it. Reviews are important. I think we can all agree with that, right? So figure out how to get more reviews, whether it's having your technicians ask for reviews or sending a mass email with your review link to all of your previous customers. Here at ServiceLegend, we actually do that when we onboard a customer. We'll send all of their previous customers a review link to try to have them submit that and hopefully get some more reviews. You want to respond to reviews, whether they're negative or positive, like we talked earlier. And again, this is a massive, massive opportunity. If you could get more reviews online and you could pay per lead structure and you're a legit business with background check, insurance, business licenses, et cetera, you guys will win on this platform. It's just how it works. And Google made it that way for the professional contractors that do it right. All right, well, let's jump into how to measure success. Now that we've talked about some of the best practices on the platform, again, you just want to fill out your profile. You just want to make sure everything's dialed in. And as far as billing is concerned, you can definitely increase your budget to make sure it just spends a bigger percentage, if you will. So let's get into how to measure the success of your LSA. Tracking and measuring success of LSA campaigns are essential for optimizing your ads. By monitoring key metrics, right, there's going to be a few things you want to do to increase the effectiveness of your LSA ads. In this section, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. So you want to set the right budget, okay? So setting the right budget is critical to your success on LSA. We talked about this a little bit previously, but typically you want a larger monthly budget. So take your monthly budget and add that as your weekly budget. And so, again, you heard me right. If you're spending $5,000 a month, that's your goal for LSA, take that and put it as your weekly budget. And a lot of you guys are probably saying, well, it's going to spend $20,000 a month. No, it's not going to. It's not going to. Google will not spend the full amount on LSA. Have I ever seen it happen? No. Have I seen it come close? Yeah, I mean, in some cases, but with a big budget like that, it won't. And keep an eye on it, obviously. But you want to make sure that you take your monthly budget and you put it as your weekly budget. That's going to be the fastest way to get that account to spend more. Obviously, you want to make sure all of the other things are dialed in. So you can go back over to when we talked about the best practices, do all of those in addition to raising the budget, and I can guarantee you're going to see some success on it. Use the dispute process. This is going to determine whether you're doing it right or not, okay? So you can dispute the leads in the LSA dashboard if they are bad or not booked. If they're not good or they're not relevant or they try to call someone else or whatever it is, right? If it's something that doesn't get booked, if it's someone who called, who didn't move a conversation forward to become a customer, you can dispute that lead. Now, obviously, don't take advantage of this, right? Google will penalize you if you're taking advantage of this dispute process. If you're disputing leads, don't think that Google doesn't look at these either, right? They have algorithms that look at it. And then they also, I heard they have manual people listening to calls if they need to. And the reason I say if is because if a contractor is taking advantage of this platform, they'll actually kick you off the platform. I haven't seen it before, but obviously, I don't recommend disputing leads if they're leads, right? If they're legit new leads and they're people booking an estimate for you on your, with your business, those are leads, right? And you can't dispute them. And so you want to play by Google's rules here. You will typically need to dispute leads in the early days of the campaign. So when you get leads, make sure you dispute them or you review them that same day. You don't need to that same day, but the reason why you want to do it right away is because, again, it's a signal to Google that you care and you're trying to maximize the effectiveness of this platform. And so that's going to help out tremendously when it comes to your account and your account serving more impressions and things like that. So get more reviews, use the dispute process correctly. Don't dispute leads that are actual leads to your business. Only dispute the ones that are bad, because if Google catches you disputing leads, all of them, it's fishy. And what happens is, Google is ultimately probably going to take you off their platform. And you won't be able to do anything about it, right? You'll have to switch your business name to go get another account, which we don't want to do. So let's play by Google's rules. Let's do it right from the early days. And you're going to do all of this within the back end of the LSA. And it looks similar to what you see here in the dispute processing. You're going to see new leads. It's going to say active leads. You're going to click into there, and you're going to be able to click on a new lead, right? It's going to show in the form of like a phone call or a message, and you'll be able to click on the 3 dots and just click on dispute. That way you can dispute the leads and not pay for leads that aren't worth it as a company. So this is my favorite part, and I've been waiting for it. So common LSA mistakes. There's a lot of things that contractors will do. As I know, a lot of contractors, not everybody, but there's quite a bit of them that aren't technology savvy. There's nothing wrong about that, right? You guys are good at your craft. But here are some common LSA mistakes when it comes to local service ads, right? It's a very, very powerful tool for generating leads, and there's a lot of common mistakes. By avoiding these mistakes, contractors can increase the effectiveness of their LSA campaigns and generate more leads so they can have more profit, more freedom, and more impact in their service business. In this section, we'll be discussing some of those common mistakes. The first one here is not choosing the right category. I've seen it a few times. Obviously, we come from the painting world and now we're home services abroad, but for those who are painting companies, you guys are a little bit different, a little bit weird, a little bit unique. And painting companies are handymans within Google's eyes. Whether you like that or not, that's the category. And so you want to click on handyman when you're setting up your Google business profile, when you're setting up your Google local service ads account. And when you get to the service section, you're not going to select all the handyman services. You're only going to select indoor painting and outdoor painting. Other than that, it's going to be pretty self-explanatory, whether HVAC, modular plumbing. Choosing the wrong category or services can lead to low quality lead volume and no leads at all. Sometimes that'll happen. Be specific about the services you offer and make sure that they're relevant to the category you choose. So you just want to select the right ones, right? You want to select the ones that Google has. If you're an electrician and you do ceiling fan installation, select the ceiling fan services, right? If you're a painting company, select handyman and select indoor painting or outdoor painting. If you're a roofing company, select the services that make sense to you guys. And that'll help you bring in more quality, but also just volume. You'll increase the volume. Not providing enough information. This is typically why these campaigns don't do very well too, right? You're just not providing the appropriate information. So providing incomplete or vague information in your LSA can lead to potential customers passing over your ad. Make sure that your ads include relevant information such as your business name, services offered, service area, and phone number. Sometimes you want to put a tracking number in there. Here at ServiceLegend, we'll put like a call rail number in there so we can track the phone calls and make sure that they're proper. But again, you want to be unique. You want to feature why people should shop with you. You don't have much text to do that, but in the sections that you can, then make sure you do that. Also, you want to make sure you follow the rules in there as well. Not getting enough reviews. I feel like we've harped on this enough, right? At the end of the day, as a company, if you're a good company and you do good services, people are going to, leave you reviews, obviously. But reviews are an important factor to the success of your LSA. They impact your ranking, they impact your visibility. They encourage satisfied customers to leave reviews by providing excellent service and following up with them on the job. At the end of the day, this is a win-win situation. Your business is going to grow and you're going to be on a rocket ship. So there's a few there, right? Not choosing the right category, which is number one. Number two, not putting the right information in. So selecting the right services, things like that. And number three, which is getting reviews. If you can do those three things, I would say also the budget, right? The fourth thing would be the budget. Take your monthly budget, add it as your weekly budget. Those four things are going to help you get started with local service ads on the right foot. So what to do to get started, right? If you guys want to start this, you can start on your own. Create a Google business profile. So you're going to go to business.google.com for that one. And then you're going to go to local service ads website, which is ads.google.com/local service ads. You're going to complete your background check. You're going to add the services category. You're going to add your business information. And then you're going to get going. You're going to monitor your performance. Obviously, you're going to set the budget. You're going to set your monthly budget as your weekly budget. And you're going to do all the things necessary to be successful there in the platform. And what I want to show you here is the websites, right? So you got business.google.com. This one right here is going to bring you exactly Google My Business. It's also known as Google Business Profile. They actually changed the name. So that's going to be right here. So you're going to want to create this. Most of you guys probably already have that. And then on Google, just search local service ads. And then you'll see this first one right here. This is going to be local service ads. So it's lead generation for local companies, local customers. And you're going to click on Get Started after you have your Google Business Profile. When you have your Google Business Profile done, you're going to come in here, click on Get Started, and really just start the process from there to getting your business set up. So basically, it's going to check for eligibility. You're going to search for your zip code and then your category. So let's say, you're a, we'll just do the, let's see here, what we got. Let's do plumbing, right? We do plumbing. We're in Arizona, and this is 85255. Check eligibility. Then you obviously just connect it with the same email you have in your Google Business Profile. Whatever email you have over there, use the same one. Obviously, I'm not going to go any further here since this is not a tutorial to set it up. But what I will say is take a screenshot of the screen that you see right here on the page and follow those exact steps, and you'll get these ads up. Obviously, it's dependent on how long it's going to take with your background checks and your business verification. But once you're set up, you're good to go. If you guys have any questions at all, right? Any questions? I know there's not a ton of people live, obviously, because we did this on a limb. But if you're watching the replay, put the comments in the comment section below. Any questions you have in the comment section below. And also, what I'm going to put in the comments here is my email. So feel free to email me at any point, right? You can email me anywhere at any point, and I can help you guys out with any sort of setup in there, any sort of questions you have in there in terms of your setup. Obviously, I'm not going to do for you, but I'll help you guys make sure you set it up right. But yeah, great talking to you guys today on this. And if you guys are looking to dominate your market, right? You guys are looking to take your home service company to the next level. ServiceLegend is for you, right? You could call us at that phone number there, or you could go to the website, servicelegend.com/book, and speak with our team. We just typically do a discovery call, chat with you 10, 15 minutes, see if it's going to be a good fit. If it is, we'll move you forward. If it's not, we'll be the first one to tell you it's not a good fit. So hopefully that makes sense. And the last thing I want to kind of leave you guys with is the ServiceLegend Podcast. If you haven't heard about the ServiceLegend Podcast yet, I highly recommend it. The podcast was created to inspire home service contractors to achieve success in their businesses. The host is my business partner, Ryan. He successfully scaled a 7-figure concrete coating business, Cardinal Concrete Coatings. And obviously he's founder here at ServiceLegend. And Ryan, on those episodes, is going to sit down with home service legends. He's going to sit down with software companies, vendors. He's going to sit down with previous clients of ServiceLegend. So a lot of value being put out on the podcast. And you can find that podcast anywhere in the ServiceLegends Facebook group, or you can find that in the on Google. Just go to ServiceLegend Podcast on Google, and you'll see this right at the top right there. So appreciate you guys. Hopefully you got value out of this webinar today. We're going to be doing a lot more of these in the future. Really focused on marketing to help you guys out with the marketing side. Ryan is going to stick on the other webinar types that we do. Obviously, he's doing the podcast, and then anything marketing related, you'll see more of myself here on our channels. So appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one.